Hello, and welcome to Optimal Insights, the podcast that brings you Colorado industry experts delivering their expert insights for senior care. I'm your host, Jeff Mannel, and this week we're going to be speaking with Katherine Wells. Katherine is the CEO for Serenity Connect. This is a tech platform that does exactly what the name suggests. It connects family members and providers and facility team members and agency clinical staff so that everybody is working together to deliver the best care. I'm very excited to have this conversation with her. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel so that you can get this information on a regular basis. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Katherine Wells. Well, hi, Katherine. It's so great to have you on Optimal Insights. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
I'm delighted to be here. This is fun.
Yeah, you actually have. We've already done a podcast with Francis Lagasse and Lagasse Jr. You're an old pro at this, I can tell.
Well, we love podcasts. We love to be able to talk to people and share insights and information and educate people on things they might not know about. So it's one of the joys of my job.
Yeah, me too. And there's some synergy even between our podcasts where we're kind of crossing over and really trying to find, okay, who are the experts out there? What information do they have to share? Because there is oftentimes a void out there. And when families and their loved ones are going through a transition, whether it's for us into hospice or home care or into a facility, there's a lot of anxiety. So anything you and I and Francis and everybody else can do to kind of give some information and educate people to make that transition more smooth. That's what it's all about. I love doing that. It
really is helping people through this senior care journey, for lack of a better way to describe it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of the things that you do, we've known each other now for, a couple of years. I think it's a couple of years since.
I think it's more than that.
Is it really?
I do.
Okay.
I think it might be 3 or 4 years now.
Holy moly, COVID just, blurs everything together.
I know. But it accelerated the time. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know you came in and spoke to Optimal, and you brought what was called Serenity Engage and now is Serenity Connect. You just went through a brand change, which I love that name anyway. I think it's much better. And so you brought that to us, and we've been using that in hospice. And it's been a lifesaver for us. It is a tech platform, but I don't want to explain what it does and what it's all about. I want you to explain what it is and what problems it solves, because there's a lot of challenges out there that this platform solves.
Well, so thank you. I'm glad it's a lifesaver for you, and that is the goal. I'll start by telling a little bit of my background story.
Yeah. Please.
Because that's what got me there to create Serenity Connect. So I spent my whole career in technology on the software sale, on the sales, marketing, and product management side, really tech for tech people. So very, very different world than a senior care world. Never in a million years did I think I'd be in this industry. And then in 2010,
my mom was,
right?
Yep.
Everybody has the same story. 2010,
Yep.
My mom diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and pretty soon we learned Dad couldn't live without Mom and her ability to stay up on things daily. So we moved her into memory care, Dad into assisted living. I, as the only girl in the family, stepped into the role of primary care coordinator. And it turns out I had a spreadsheet of 37 providers taking care of my mom and dad that didn't talk to each other and didn't talk to me. And I was power of attorney for both medical and financial. I'm their buyer, right? I am the economic buyer, and nobody's talking to me. And it was impossible to get information. It was just so frustrating. And I didn't live that far from where we had them. It was about 40 minutes. But I can't get down there all the time and every single day. And so if I wanted to know what was happening, I'd have to call the community. I might get someone, I might not. If I got someone, I'd probably get them to take a message, and then someone else would call me back, and they'd call me back while I'm on a meeting. And so, that whole game, it's like a telephone, the old game of telephone, right? And What really put me over the edge was when a rounding doctor organization who was taking care of my dad, it took me 3 days to get the nurse to call me back and tell me what med change they made.
Mm.
And I was the only one monitoring. I mean, they were monitoring it, but I had his full med list, and I knew there was one specific one that I was always on the lookout for that should not have been prescribed to my dad. And I was deathly afraid that that was the medicine that she switched it to. 3 days is insane. I
Oh
should have
yeah,
had a
that's
call
eternity.
that day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. And it was nothing but back and forth. So I said, well, I can solve this problem with technology. It's not that hard. But, it is that hard because it's a system. The senior care world is a
Yeah.
system of people who are taking care of other people, and they don't have the technology support. So that's how Serenity Connect was born. And
Wow. Well, that's a powerful story. And sadly, that is a common story. I
too
mean, we
common.
just went through this with my brother-in-law. Lori is my wife. I'm sorry, my wife Lori's brother. His wife took care of him. He had early onset Alzheimer's all
Oh,
through
I'm
the end of
so
life.
sorry.
And so, when you talk about, you can't do everything and the burnout and any help you can get, whether it's human help from a person coming in to help or technology to take some of the burden off of your shoulders so you can just get things done more quickly and efficiently, all of that is vital because sometimes you're performing your daily task on just almost no energy, right? I mean, it's rough and you've been through it. So
Yeah.
you came up with this technology. When you were talking about that, it's almost like Slack. That's how Slack was born. Like they're just doing it in house. We need to figure out a way to communicate with each other more. And like, hey, this is awesome. Let's go to market with this. But you built something. Just you built it at home. Are you the coder? Are you the guy? You the person that put it all together? You have
I am not.
You're one of a dynamic duo, right?
I am. I am one half of a dynamic duo, and that other half is my husband. So I'm lucky enough to be married to a serial entrepreneur and a
Lucky?
software
Yes.
developer. So he still had his day job while I was doing this, and he would code at night. And so what we built was at the very beginning, it was HIPAA compliant texting, basically. And we continued to grow that so that it was much more collaborative over time. So now you can have groups of people, and oftentimes we'll see a channel of communication with the primary family member. If somebody's living in a community, the director of nursing at the community and the rounding doctor or the hospice provider or the home health provider, and they're actually collaborating and communicating about the care of that individual. And we keep hearing in this industry, in the senior care industry, about person-centered care. And the reason person-centered care has been so hard is the systems, the support systems on the tech side are not designed to support person-centered care where everything is individual. And so that's something that Serenity brings. And yeah.
No, I was just going to say, from my point of view, I'm not a clinician, but working in the hospice with the hospice team and kind of implementing Serenity there, it's used a lot with optimal hospice with teams communicating with one another. Like Francis, owns Assured, and so the Assured team is communicating with the optimal hospice team. There's clinicians in there, there's chaplains in there, there's social workers, admin, everybody's in there. And like you said, it's HIPAA compliant. So they can be very clear about what needs to happen or what the needs are and not have to worry about crossing any lines there. And when I say a lifesaver, I mean, that's really been huge for us. Like you said, communication, it's hard to get a hold of anybody. And let's be honest, everybody is so overworked and stressed. I mean, they got 1,000 things going on. So like with Serenity, if you can bring a couple of different things and put them all in one platform and cut out, all the riffraff on the outside, it just makes life simpler. And anything we can do to make life simpler in healthcare is a good thing.
It matters. It really does matter. And it can be a matter of actually being a true lifesaver. And I can tell you some stories around that, just the sheer transparency of communication between everyone so that everyone is held accountable for their part and everybody knows what's happening. So you're not operating in the dark or operating with misinformation.
Yeah,
We've
that's
added
great.
to, yeah.
Oh, no, I was just going to
Go
say,
ahead.
you kind of jumped ahead a little in my mind where my next question was going to be. And that is, when we've got families and seniors listening to this and watching this and thinking, okay, so when you're working with seniors and you went through your own journey with your parents, what are some of the fears and frustrations that you've heard from them that Serenity Connect addresses that really helps them?
Communication. It's the number one. It's
Yeah.
communication. I have a friend who lives in Spain right now. He used to work with Kaiser, and
Mm.
he and his husband moved to Spain. His husband's mom is now in a senior care facility in Germany. His mom is in a senior care facility in Spain. And he called me the other day and said, please, can I bring Serenity here? You have no
Mm.
idea how painful this communication is back and forth. We can't get any information. And, COVID put a big spotlight on this for
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
globally. We look at it in the US, and if you just imagine operating in that you know, black hole of communication during the COVID timeframe, that's how it used to be. It was very, very difficult to get information. And
Yeah.
I will say that I think for families and for older adults themselves, we tend to think and feel like, okay, well, COVID's over, so things are better. What's happened in the senior care space is they're still reeling from it, and they're trying to rapidly put technology in and new processes in without breaking the bank, because if they can't be profitable, they can't continue to serve,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But they can't keep raising rates in order to cover these costs. So there's this real balancing act that we all have to kind of walk that line on.
Yeah.
Where is the appropriate place to put the energy and the investment?
Yeah. Well, I think you've picked the right spot. And as we kind of bring things to a close here, I wanted to give you some time as we look to the future. What are some of the challenges that you're trying to solve in the future? Maybe you're working on them right now. I mean, what's up next for Serenity?
Yeah, that's great. So we have all kinds of things that are going to be coming out in 2024. And last year, we really did a big push on our smart device platform for senior living. So we now can put a smart device that is HIPAA compliant in a closed, secure network. In this case, it's Alexa for senior living with the Alexa Show. So it has the video screen.
Yeah.
In each and every resident room, and we are impacting not only staff turnover rates in a positive way, we're also impacting longevity of older adults and connectedness with family members and with the things that are happening in their community. We're gonna start doing some things in AI in 2024. We're going to be building in even more features and functionality that are very specific to the senior care journey. So, part of what we do is a little bit Slack-like, but that's just the base of what we have built this platform to be.
Right. And I think that's the beauty of this. That's just the foundation, right? So when you build a strong foundation, a communication tool that works, it's solid, it's not bubble gum and duct tape together. It's like a solid piece. Then you can continue to build on that. And I love these smart devices in the room. There have been devices in rooms. There's been, hey, here's the menu for today, and here's what's going on. But your device brings so much more connection, and it brings the team together, I feel like.
It does. And then think about the telehealth implications for people who are living rural and can't get doctors out to their community or their home, great. Per se. And then managing workflows. Senior care runs on routines. It's all workflows and routines. And being able to automate those workflows as much as possible and ensure nothing slip through the cracks is a big part of what we're doing.
And it gives
So
more
lots of
time.
fun.
Yeah, it is lots of fun, and it gives everybody a little bit more time, because automate everything you can so that they can have that one-on-one time and really focus on the care. So, wow,
Yep.
Katherine, I am super excited. I've loved working with you the past couple of years. I look forward to doing stuff in the future. Really excited about where Serenity Connect is going, and really, I can't wait to see what happens next. I love being able to work with Frances as well. And if you want to give a quick plug for your podcast, you want to
You
tell everybody
bet.
what it is real quick before we go?
Yeah, thank you. So Francis and I co-podcast, and it's called The Mavericks of Senior Living. And we talk to people across the nation about where they see innovation happening, what challenges they're facing, and what they're doing about it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. And for those of you that are watching or listening, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe and like the channel, pass it on to your friends. We want all the seniors and their family members that crave and need this information to make great decisions and to calm them down a bit as they're going through this journey. And we want to be a part of that. We're passionate about bringing you that information. So this has been an absolute joy. Really appreciate you, Katherine. Look forward to seeing you
Same.
soon.